Imagine living in a land where you cannot walk outside your own village without fear, where the roads are empty, not because there is nowhere to go, but because going anywhere means risking your life, where the most powerful army in the region has 900 iron chariots, and every one of them is aimed at you. This was Israel, 20 years under the crushing heel of a foreign king. 20 years of silence, of fear, of asking the same unanswered question, has God forgotten us? But in the hills of Ephraim, beneath a palm tree, a woman sat in judgment, and the answer to Israel's question was already there, waiting for them. Her name was Deborah. This is the story of Deborah. To understand just how remarkable Deborah was, you have to understand the world she lived in. The people of Israel had been given the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. But again and again, they had turned away from God, chasing after the idols of the surrounding nations. And again, God had allowed consequences to follow. This cycle appears over and over in the book of Judges. The people sin, enemies rise, Israel suffers, they cry out to God, and God raises up a deliverer. Someone called a judge, not a judge in a courtroom, but a leader, a warrior, a voice of God to a struggling people. Deborah was one of those judges, but she was unlike any judge before her. She was a woman in a culture where women rarely held public authority. She was a prophetess, meaning God spoke through her directly, and she sat beneath the palm of Deborah in the hill country of Ephraim, and the people of Israel came to her for wisdom, for justice, for answers. She was not appointed by a king. She was not born into a priestly family. She was simply someone who walked so closely with God that the people could feel it, and they trusted her. But Deborah knew that what Israel needed right now was not just wisdom. It was courage. For 20 years, Israel had been dominated by Jabin, king of Canaan, who ruled from the city of Hazor. But Jabin himself did not terrify the people of Israel. He had a general who did that. His name was Sisera, commander of Jabin's armies, master of the iron chariot, a military strategist so feared that even seasoned warriors would turn and flee at the sound of his name. 900 iron chariots. In the ancient world, this was the equivalent of tanks. The Israelites had no answer for them. No iron weapons of their own, no cavalry, no fortified army. Against Sisera's military machine, they were outclassed in every measurable way. Under Sisera's shadow, Israel had stopped traveling the main roads. Merchants could not trade. Farmers could not harvest in peace. Families went hungry. The land groaned. And then, one day, the people of Israel did the one thing they had learned. Through all their suffering, they cried out to God in prayer. And God heard them. God gave Deborah a word, a command, a battle plan, straight from heaven. And Deborah sent for a man named Barak, son of Abinoam, from the tribe of Naphtali. Deborah looked at him and spoke with the full authority of a prophetess.
The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go, take 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun, and lead them up to Mount Tabor. I will draw out Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his troops to the Kishon River and give him into your hands.
It was a bold, even terrifying commission. March 10,000 men against 900 iron chariots. Face the most feared military commander in the region. And Barak's response revealed everything about his strong or weak confidence.
If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go.
Some people understood Barak's words as weakness, cowardice, and perhaps there was some of that. But there is another way to read it too. Barak understood that Deborah carried the presence of God. He did not want to go into battle without that presence. Whether it was fear or faith, or both, Deborah's answer was immediate and unflinching.
Certainly I will go with you. But because of the way you are going about this, the honor will not be yours. For the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman.
And so the two of them set out, a judge and a general, a prophetess and a soldier, to do what no military analyst would have predicted possible. They gathered their forces at Mount Tabor, 10,000 men of Israel, farmers, shepherds, tradesmen, a volunteer army, standing on a hillside, looking down at a valley where Sisera's army was already forming up below.
Go! This is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you?
What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. The book of Judges tells us that the Lord threw Sisera's army into a panic, and the ancient poem of Deborah, found in Judges 5, one of the oldest pieces of writing in the entire Bible, adds something extraordinary. The stars themselves fought against Sisera. The river Kishon swept his warriors away. The 900 iron chariots, the very things that had made Sisera invincible, became his downfall. The flat valley floor that would have been perfect for their charge turned into a muddy trap. Every military advantage Sisera had built his reputation on crumbled in a single afternoon. All of Sisera's army fell by the sword. Not one soldier was left standing, except for one man, Sisera himself.
Come in, my lord. Come in. Don't be afraid.
He was exhausted, terrified. He asked for water. She gave him milk, warm and soothing. He asked her to stand at the door and lie for him if anyone came asking. And as he slept, Jael picked up a tent peg, an everyday tool, nothing glamorous, nothing dramatic. Sisera, the terror of Israel, the commander of 900 chariots, died in a moment, not on a battlefield, not by the hand of a warrior king, but by the hand of a woman. Barak arrives, still searching for Sisera. Jael steps out of her tent.
I will show you the man you are looking for.
Barak enters the tent and sees Sisera dead. Remember Deborah's words to Barak before the battle. The honor will not be yours, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. Every word had come true. Israel celebrates their victory. Fires lit on hilltops, dancing, singing, children laughing. On that day, Deborah and Barak sang. What they sang has been preserved for us in Judges chapter 5. One of the oldest poems in the entire Hebrew Bible. Scholars believe it may date back to within a generation of the events themselves. It is a song of praise, of witness, of memory. The song praises those who answered the call, the tribes who showed up, who risked their lives for one another. It names Jael as most blessed of women. It paints the battle in vivid, sweeping poetry. It celebrates God as the architect of the whole victory, and it begins and ends the same way. After the battle, the Bible tells us simply, the land had peace for 40 years, 40 years of rest, 40 years of safety, 40 years of children growing up without fear, all because a woman sat under a palm tree and chose to listen to God. The story of Deborah is one of the most quietly radical stories in the entire Bible. Here was a woman in a patriarchal culture, in a violent era, who was not just tolerated, but trusted, not just respected, but followed. Barak, a military general, told her plainly, "I won't go without you." Not because he was weak, but because her connection to God was undeniable. Deborah did not fight for her position. She didn't demand recognition. She simply walked with God so faithfully, so consistently, that leadership found her, not the other way around. And when the moment came, she didn't hesitate. She didn't ask for permission. She said what God had shown her, and she went. Then there is Jael, A woman from outside Israel's covenant people, someone we know almost nothing about, who, in one pivotal moment, acted with courage that changed the history of a nation, not with an army, not with a throne, with her hands. This story reminds us that God does not choose the powerful and then make them great. He chooses the available, the faithful, and then does great things through them. Deborah was available. Barak, for all his hesitation, showed up. Jael, with everything at stake, acted. And together, three people who would never have appeared on anyone's list of military strategists brought down the most feared army of their generation. If you're facing something that feels too big, too powerful, too entrenched, remember Deborah beneath her palm tree. Remember that God's plans don't always come through the people you expect, or the weapons you expect, or in the way you expect. Sometimes they come in ways you never expected.
This is Bible Light Storytime channel, where Bible lessons are shared. If this video blessed you, like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one.
In a time when fear ruled the land, and warriors trembled, no sword in their hands, the people cried out, lost and afraid. Under oppression, hope seemed to fade. By the palm tree, she sat in the sun, a voice of wisdom, God's chosen one. Not a queen with a crown of gold, but a heart so fierce, a spirit so bold. She heard the call, she knew the way, a fire inside she could not delay. Rise, Deborah, rise and lead. When the world is weak, be the strength they need. With courage burning in your soul, you were chosen, you were called. Stand, Deborah, don't be afraid. Even in darkness, your light won't fade. Through the battle, through the storm, God's power in you will be reborn. She called on Barak, said, this is the day. The Lord goes before you, now don't be afraid. But he hesitated, fear in his eyes. Said, I'll go if you stand by my side. So she rose up, fearless and strong, holding that faith can right every wrong. Into the battle, the armies marched with heaven's thunder. The skies were charged. The ground it shook, the tide it turned. For every plan, the heavens burned. Rise, Deborah, rise and lead. When the world is weak, be the strength they need. With courage burning in your soul, you were chosen, you were called. Stand, Deborah, don't be afraid. Even in darkness, your light won't fade. Through the battle, through the storm, God's power in you will be reborn. Not by might, not by sword, but by the power of the Lord. Chains are broken, victory came, all the glory to his name. A woman stood when others fell, and changed the course of Israel.